I'm a student at the London College of Fashion. I'm living in London and I wanted to talk about self-expression. I think my earliest memory of music is because I think I was like, I don't know how old I was, but I must have been like 6 or maybe a bit older. And my mum had like an iPod Nano, and I remember I loved Eminem. and I used to listen on my mum's iPod Nano with earphones in to Mockingbird by Eminem, and I remember I literally just loved that song so much, and like I feel like it really resonated with me, like I don't know why, because I was only like 6. I think we were on holiday or something, and there's like this one photo of me as well, like at the beach. I'm like lying on the sunbed with like earphones in. I remember that really well actually, and I don't remember a lot of stuff about my childhood, but I do remember that quite well.
So music's like a good connection to memory.
Yeah, actually, like I've never really thought about that, but like now that you've said it, it definitely is. Because I don't know, it obviously helps to connect you to that moment in time. I guess like to look at like who you are now, you kind of have to look back to who you were. I look back to like when I was like in school, and like obviously you're still you, but you've never really like spent time with yourself to figure out who you are, and like you don't really think about, oh, I need to like figure out who I am. You kind of just go along with like what everyone else is doing. I think coming out of that environment is like so like refreshing. Like it is really scary, but you sort of start to figure things out for yourself.
I'm Isabel. I'm 21, living in London. I'm originally from Singapore, but I moved here to study menswear at LCM.
What made you want to move to London to study fashion?
I guess it's like the scene in Singapore is not that big yet. I mean, Singapore is like a really young country, and there's like a lot of cool people there, but I think London is like where it's at if you want to study fashion.
How did you like first start getting into fashion? Was there like a moment where you're like, oh, yeah, I want to do this?
I think it's like a similar story with a lot of people. It's just like when I was younger, I used to like have loads of these like sketchbooks just filled with like dresses and like shirts and stuff that I would just draw all the time. Yeah, and so I always had the interest, I guess, since I was like a kid. And as I grew up, I started getting into like art and like music and like all the other stuff. Yeah, and eventually somehow I found my way back to fashion.
Hi, my name is Rory. I'm 20 from London. I do menswear at London College of Fashion, and I do music as well. In my life, I've always done music and art kind of like hand in hand. I've always kind of like been more interested in music, for like art is something I've always done. Like, my mum for a while was an art therapist, and like she's done art as well. My dad would listen to loads of music, and that's kind of just where that came from. I always did music when I was younger. Like I've always like kind of like played guitar or piano or whatever I was into at the time. I started getting close with Anna, which is one of my friends, and he was getting into it as well, and kind of gave me the confidence to do it myself. He had like the setup, he had the mic and everything, and then from them I actually started making music, like recording, producing.
Is there like a particular artist that like inspired you?
I feel like when I was younger, it was probably X. I feel like it probably was for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like he was very good at making people feel like he was talking to them, and I felt that personally when I felt like when he was talking about stuff that he was doing, I was like, oh, I can do it too because he did it, kind of thing.
And like, you chose to study menswear rather than women's wear.
I just realized that is what I'm more drawn to, like the functionality and like the actual history behind like a garment, why a button is placed here and why like there's a zip here.
It can't have been like easy to like come to like a different place where you don't really know anyone. How did you find that? Like, would you give advice to someone else who would like be thinking of doing the same thing?
Yeah, I think it was really tough, especially because I moved here during COVID. So like everything was shut down, and so like obviously like the social aspect of that was like really hard. Because my parents were both like immigrants to like Singapore, so I guess it's always been in me like if I want to do something, like even if it means like traveling away from something that's like really familiar to me, it's like worth it, you know? So it wasn't ever like a question like if I want to do something I just have to go for it. I think being further away from everything you're familiar with, like you have no choice but to like grow and depend on yourself. So I think I've become more independent, and also like obviously the UK like art scene, music scene is completely different from Singapore. Obviously, you know, like we love a bit of UK music. We love
I was actually going to say to you, like, did you know about these people before you came here?
I knew a few people, like I guess the biggest artist I listened to from the UK was like Muramasa. Yeah, because remember you introduced me to was it Ayrton and like all these and then from there I was like, oh okay, this girl's onto something.
Like, people in London are making music that I don't know, has never really been heard before.
What kind of music do you like in London?
Like, I never really used to listen to jungle music, but I think now people are becoming more like experimental with it and like sampling old jungle music and making it more like something you can listen to in your bedroom kind of thing, which I think is really cool.
I feel like London is just like an ecosystem of creativity. Like there's always so much going on in London. Like no matter what kind of genre or whatever thing you're into, like there's always like the most niche things. There's like hundreds of people that like it.
I don't know. I feel like the London music scene is kind of like easy to like box yourself in because I feel like it's like all like underground like rap. Do you find that like annoying that you have to like put yourself into a box?
I feel like it's quite good because it creates a community sense. Like if someone listens to someone that isn't actually related to me, because of that umbrella, they can actually go on a Spotify playlist and listen to me. Whereas like people kind of like branching out to other kind of music genres. Like a lot of people are doing more like garagey stuff or like kind of stuff that's more, I don't know, like jazzy, and it's still kind of under that chill rap genre, and it's not really. But it's with everything, isn't it? Like everyone's gonna put you in a box until you break out of that box and you're bigger than the box itself. Do you know what I mean? So.
Like, what about your style? Has like your style, like, do you feel like you're able to express yourself more easily, like being in London?
I think I'm more bold, maybe. Yeah, there's also more influences because there's so many people from all around the world. I think like what you said, I think it's really cool when people are able to like filter the trend into their own personal style and then work that into a way where it's like it has longevity. So it's trendy, but it's not trendy in the like in a mainstream way. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense.
I mean, for me, I think it's like I kind of just put on an outfit that like reflects the way I'm feeling. And I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess in my own style, I definitely do take inspiration from like different trends and then sort of incorporate them into like an outfit that I would want to wear. Whereas I think before I was like, no, can't follow trends.
What's your favourite song, just to wrap up?
At the moment,
Yeah.
I quite like Jodie by SZA at the moment. It's a bit of a safe choice, but yeah.
What is one music artist that you want to put everyone onto?
Myself. The whole of Liberated, not the artist, but like it's my collective. They're all incredibly talented. I couldn't pick a better 3 people to be in a collective with. Like, I feel like we all make kind of different music that's kind of in the same genre. I kind of feel like in a collective where everyone kind of makes different music is kind of what you want. Because if they make too much of similar music, they kind of get lost in it. Like, I kind of feel like other London collectives, or like music collectives in general, they make too similar music, so they kind of blend into each other. But I feel like because we're quite separate in the music we make, we kind of got our own identity.
So, what's the first record you're putting on? That you walk into your room, you've just got in. What are you putting on? What are you doing?
It has to be my first ever vinyl. My favourite ever one is Good Kid, Mad City, which is Kendrick Lamar. But that's definitely my most listened to vinyl. Well, I have one Jungle. I have a lot of rap, soul vibes. That's normally what I'm playing in my room. Like, you know when a song is like sonically really happy, but then lyrically it's really
Lyric,
sad.
you're like, are you good? Someone check on my mind.
So you can kind of vibe to it but be sad at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that.